A midlife crisis isn't waiting for your 40s anymore. It's showing up in your 30s, and it doesn't come with a sports car. It's that feeling when you look at your career and think, this isn't it, is it? And you glance around at the lives of the people you know and wonder why yours doesn't match up or just feels lesser. And when you realize you've outgrown an old version of yourself and the new one just hasn't arrived yet. Today we're talking about what this early midlife crisis looks like for women in their late 20s and 30s and how it can affect your energy and the way you manifest. Because believe me, it is a weird place to be. Let's cue the reel. I first started noticing this feeling in my early 30s, that feeling when things that I just used to love or work on or things I was planning, even the version of myself I thought I would be just suddenly started to feel off. Some days it didn't feel like much, this quiet hum in the background of everything, and other days it would hit me like a train, like, wait, what am I even doing? Who am I really? What do I want? And it can feel as though you've become complacent with who you were once intentionally becoming. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's as if you don't know how you got to where you are in any part of life. For anyone that's new here, I'm Lindsay Brand, and you're listening to Cue the Reel, the podcast where we talk manifestation, energy, and the messy in-between parts of life most people try to ignore. This is the podcast for getting unstuck by noticing what's really happening under the surface and creating the life you want. By your 30s, you look around and maybe you have children, barely a social life, your sense of humor is nearly gone, and you have the same hairstyle you had for 5 years and you have no idea what to do with it. You have only checked off maybe a handful of bucket list items and it's looking like more accomplishments, quote unquote, aren't coming for a while due to finances or not having any time off, etc., etc., etc. This year at 32, it hit me that I'd outgrown parts of myself I didn't even realize I was holding on to. Old routines, expectations, versions of me that just don't fit anymore. But the new version hasn't shown up yet. I'm lost, but I'm also not found. I'm in the in-between. And honestly, it's uncomfortable. But it's also the place where I started to see what really matters, what is mine, and what I want to create next. The most surprising part was realizing I longed for parts of myself I hadn't been seeing as much lately. For instance, I always had something funny to say before. I still do now. I just act on it way less frequently. I found myself wanting to be that person again because it's a core part of who I am. And being funny and witty is something I'm proud to have as part of my personality. Being in shape is another one. After having a baby, I went to the gym regularly, but wasn't nearly in as good of shape as I have been in my life before. There are many other things as well that I have had to look in the eye this year and ask myself truly, do I want this the way it is? Or do I dislike it enough that I will change it now? So what's actually happening when women in their late 20s and 30s start feeling this midlife crisis type energy? And the answer is we don't really know for sure. Psychology hasn't officially recognized an early midlife crisis as a stage, and there aren't large-scale studies that I've found proving it exists yet. But what we do see is a cultural pattern where more and more people are noticing these feelings in their 30s, especially women juggling career, relationships, and other life pressures. Even though it isn't scientifically proven, the experiences are real. People are sharing this everywhere. When a phenomenon like this happens, it feels better knowing you're not alone. You're not imagining it. Feeling restless, questioning your path, or noticing parts of yourself that you've neglected are all common signs that something is shifting for you. And in this stage, many people start feeling like they've failed or their life has been a waste of time. But I want to tell you that this isn't failure at all. It's just a moment of awareness, a space to notice what's not working and start deciding what you want. Every moment matters. You may have been in survival mode for the past 10 years. Maybe you had kids early, or you got married and had a quick divorce, or got into a job you loved only to be fired and working somewhere you hate to keep food on the table and bills paid. Every day presents itself as an opportunity to change what you are experiencing. It's those days, weeks, months, years that we get complacent on intentionally manifesting to put our heads down and survive that get us into a crisis like this. Even after you come up for air and decide what you want, there will be days that are challenging and where your old habitual thinking will try to pull you back. The cool thing is, noticing this is the first step to shifting it. That's why moments of awareness, like the ones we talked about, are actually the launching pad for manifestation. The clarity you gain from seeing what isn't working or what you've been neglecting lets you make intentional choices about the life you want next. This ties back to what my shamanic healer said in my last episode. Choosing who you want to be isn't a one-time thing. It's a daily decision. Some days it's easy, some days it's not. But when you wake up and set that intention consistently, your energy aligns with that version of yourself. And that alignment is what makes manifestation feel natural rather than forced. So now that we've named it, the in-between energy of an early midlife crisis, the next question is, what do we do with it? Firstly, you need to give yourself permission to feel whatever you're feeling. Don't fight it. Don't rush to fix it. Feeling restless, unsure, or dissatisfied is a sign that some part of you is ready to change and evolve into a better version. Second, notice the parts of yourself you've been neglecting. Maybe it's your humor. Maybe it's your creativity or your health or even little things that once energized you. These are clues to what matters most to you. Third, set small intentional actions every day. Like my shamanic healer said, choosing who you want to be is a daily decision. It could be as simple as journaling your intentions for the day, moving your body in a way that makes you feel alive, saying yes to yourself before anyone else, or adding something to your day that you used to really enjoy that you just don't do anymore. I've been incorporating humor into my day more, and it's made a world of difference to me and my family. I joined a Pilates studio to move my body more. The cardio classes are all about jumping while on the reformer machine, and it makes me feel like a kid or an astronaut every time. Highly recommend. And I've also joined a basketball league. I played basketball since I was 5, all the way up until 27, I think, and took a bit of a hiatus. So I thought it might be nice to get back into something I found a lot of joy in. I know I'm quick to jump into things, but starting something new with your life can feel overwhelming. The moment you consider a change, there may be resistance. It can show up as anxiety, a voice in your head saying you aren't ready, or a sudden need to retreat to what's familiar to you. I feel it every time I take a step towards something I want to create or reclaim a part of myself I had left behind. It helps to respect and trust that every experience you've had is for you and meant to guide you to where you're going. You may not understand why in the moment, but over time, the purpose of each challenge, each lesson, each heartbreak will reveal itself. Everything you've lived is building the path for the version of you that you're manifesting. Carry those lessons into the choices you make now and remind yourself that you're capable of change, of growth, of stepping into what feels unknown. We've all done a trillion things for the first time before. We made our first friend. We stood up and walked. Found our person after a soul-crushing breakup, played a sport, joined a community of people somewhere. It's normal to feel nervous. Let yourself feel your feelings and do the thing that is exciting to you so you can have a life that is exciting and something you enjoy. Self-doubt can be loud in these moments. It questions your abilities, your timing, even your worthiness. And I've learned to name it, to acknowledge it, and to keep moving anyway. Action dissolves it. Doing the thing will dissolve the fear. Choosing a new path isn't always easy. It asks for persistence, courage, and trust in yourself. Each small step forward is reclaiming of your life, a statement that your growth matters. I want to thank you all for listening and being intentional about making your life more of what you want. The amount of listeners for this show has tripled in the last week, and I feel so good moving through my day knowing I'm helping more and more people break out of where they don't want to be and step into their new reality. Remember, the in-between is messy, but it's also fertile, a place where you can always plant new seeds for your next chapter of life. Be grateful that you lifted your head out of the sand and looked around at your life instead of being overcome by negative emotions of not liking what you see. Make a change, one decision at a time.